Hello, welcome to yoga class. Thank you for joining me, Mercedes, for this practice today. Today's practice is a full yoga practice moving through a basic flow in which we're going to move through the different stations of the body. So we'll be reclined, kneeling, standing, seated, on our bellies even maybe. So we've got lots of different positioning that's coming up. You're gonna find that you feel supported if you've got some props with you. So I recommend for this practice today, for this flow, that you have one strap and two blocks. Those are gonna help support you. Depending on your flexibility, you might or might not need those props, but if you think that they'll be helpful, then it'll be a really great idea to have them near you for the practice today. We're going to start today's practice on our backs in a reclined position. So let's go ahead and position ourselves by bringing the glutes to the middle of the mat. Lean back, let yourself lower down. Now, as you connect your tailbone, your back, your shoulders, and your head, let the knees splay out, bringing the soles of the feet together. Now, as the knees open out, notice how the inner thighs and the hips feel. If you're feeling any tension there, then we can start right away with the support of the blocks. Taking the blocks underneath the thighs. This way, the legs can really rest, the hips can start to gently open up, and we're not holding the legs up with tension. Now, if you do not have two blocks, don't worry. Another option that you can do here is that you can take your fist under your thighs. So you'll want to extend your arms, make fist with your hands, and then position your fist under your thighs. So that's going to be supportive if you don't have the block option. If you do have the blocks, go ahead and bring your palms to your belly. We'll focus on some belly breathing. As you inhale, feel the belly pressing to the palms. As you exhale, feel the belly soften. Inhale, feel the belly rise. Exhale, feel the belly button lowering towards the spine. Continue to breathe in this way. Practicing lengthening the breath. And letting your body relax as we transition from the first part of our day into our practice. Tuck your chin towards your chest, lengthening the back of the neck. And in this time, maybe you even close your eyes. Notice how your physical body feels. And also bring awareness to your mental and emotional body. Just checking where you are today at the start of your practice. Take one more full round of breath. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. Reach your hands towards your thighs. Taking your palms to your thighs, guide your knees together. Bring the soles of your feet to the mat. If you're working with the blocks, just remove them out to the side for now so that we have space for the legs to move. Open your arms out to the sides, positioning the wrist in line with the shoulders. Now lift your feet. Position the knees above the hips, ankles in line with the knees. Maybe you take a moment to draw circles with the big toes, getting some mobility in the ankles, and then circle around opposite direction. Bring the feet to stillness. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, lower both knees over to the left. Inhale, bring the knees to center. We're taking a moving spinal twist. Exhale, knees to the right. Inhale, lift the knees to center. And each time you exhale, let the knees lower, opposite direction. As you move from side to side, notice how this feels for your spine, for your back. Inhale to center. We'll take one more on each side. Inhale, let the knees rise up. Now position the soles of your feet towards the ceiling. Open the knees wide. Bring the knees to lower down. Start by taking your hands to the back of the knees. Check and see how this feels for the thighs and the hips. Now keeping the tailbone pressed to the mat. See if your hands can reach for your ankles without the tailbone lifting. Keep the knees wide. If the tailbone is grounded in this second option, then you can play around with taking your hands to the outsides of your feet, or you can take your peace fingers, your index finger and middle finger of each hand, to hook onto the big toes. Tailbone stays grounded. Now we're in our happy baby. Now you've got the choice where you can stay still in your happy baby, or maybe you decide to rock from side to side, feeling a nice massage in the muscles of the back. Maybe you decide to straighten one leg, checking in to see how the leg feels. And if you've tried that option, try it on the other leg. As one leg straightens, the opposite knee is bent. You might even try straightening both legs. Now feeling a deeper stretch at the inner thighs. Soften the knees, bend them. Release the hands from the toes, feet, or ankles. Bring the hands under the knees. Bring the knees together. Lift your tailbone and start to rock up and down your spine a few times. Let yourself gain some momentum so that you can come onto your seat. Now, as you transition from a reclined position to a seated position, let yourself get comfortable here. Maybe pulling the flesh back, getting really grounded and rooted down in your sits bones. Position the shoulders above the hips, the ears above the shoulders. Give yourself a few rounds of breath here. Give yourself time to set an intention for your practice. Noticing if your intention is something physical, like stretching, strengthening, gaining flexibility. Maybe your intention is something different, like peace or letting go. Whatever you feel that you need from this practice, invite that energy in. And once you know what that is, take a deep inhale through the nostrils all the way to the top of the breath. And as you exhale, practice releasing the air slowly and completely. Take another round of breath. This time, when you're ready to exhale, feel the shoulders moving away from the ears. Feel the body soften. Take one more round of breath. Now, know that later on in our practice, we'll come back to some seated options. For now, we're going to use our seat as a transition into a kneeling posture. So we're going to bring our hands towards the top of the mat. Roll onto hands and knees. Come into a tabletop position. Spread the fingers. Press palms to the mat. Position the wrist under the shoulders. Position the knees under the hips. Going into cat-cow. As you inhale, let your belly lower towards the mat. As you exhale, lift back as if you're trying to tap the ceiling. Inhale, belly lowers. Exhale, lift your back. Continue to move. Movement following the breath. As you exhale, really create space between the shoulder blades. Now you can stay with this up, down, cat-cow motion. Or you might want to find a little freedom in your movement. You might want to start to circle the hips around. Noticing how that feels for your side body. Circle around opposite direction. Back to tabletop. From here, look at your hands. Walk your hands one hand placement in front. Curl your toes. Lift off your knees. Lift the hips way up high. And then send weight into the legs. Come into down dog. Now you might be feeling a deep stretch in your calves and your hamstrings. So soften the knees. As you soften the knees, send the chest towards the thighs. Ears between the biceps. Pressing palms to the mat as if you're pushing the floor away. Fingers are spread wide. Now on your next exhale, you can practice sending your heels to the mat, straightening the legs, if that's available in your body. Inhale, let's bend the knees. Exhale, press heels to the mat. Move with your breath. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Now slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Take your time to get to the top of the mat. And as you get to the top of the mat, bring your palms to your shins. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold. Now in your forward fold, you've got the option to let the arms dangle. Or you could take your hands to opposite elbows, framing your head with your arms. Remember, if the hamstrings are tight, you can bend the knees. Now, whether your knees are bent or not, feel a nice stretch in the back. With this spinal flexion, you're allowing the spine to decompress. Release your hands from your elbows. Bring your hands down to the mat. And slowly walk your feet back to down dog. So your feet are coming towards the back of the mat. Now notice how this second down dog feels. On your next inhale, lift and lengthen the right leg. Toes to the sky. As you exhale, bend your right knee. Bring it under your body. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Lower your left knee. Now, as you lower your left knee, if this is uncomfortable for your knee, you can position a knee pad or a blanket underneath. Uncurl the toes. Now, we're coming into a low lunge. This is a nice place to invite the blocks onto the mat underneath your hands. As you come into your low lunge, make sure that your front knee is tracking above your front ankle. Then take the blocks so they're positioned under the shoulders. Press the hips forward, gaze forward. Your hands can stay on the blocks, or you can take your palms to your right thigh. Might feel a deeper stretch there. Or you might reach the arms up, fingertips to the sky. If you'd like a shoulder stretch, you might bring the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers, press palms together, open the heart, gaze up. Wherever the hands are, bring them back down to the blocks. Shift the hips back just enough to where the hip is stacked above the back knee. Now look at your front leg. Straighten the front leg, lift the toes off the mat. Front leg is straight. Take an inhale breath, and then exhale, fold forward. Bring your torso towards your front leg. Now at this point, you might bring your hands down to the mat. Notice that the more you fold, the deeper you're going to feel the stretch at the right hamstring. One more full round of breath. On your next inhale, shift forward, bend that front knee. Come back into your knee down lunge. Lift your hands off the mat. Take your right thumb to your right hip crease. Inhale, reach the left fingers up, and then exhale, reach the left arm over to the right. Feel a nice stretch in the left side body. Reach through the fingers. Inhale, lift the left fingers up. Exhale, take the left hand down to the mat in line with the right foot. Now press into that left hand. Curl the left toes, come off the left knee. As you inhale, sweep the right fingers up. Twist to the right. Press that left heel back. On your next exhale, bring that right hand down outside of the right foot. Step the right foot back. Lift the hips, go into down dog. Find your alignment here. Send the chest towards the thighs. Notice the left leg, notice the right leg. Take any little movement you'd like here. Maybe rocking the hips from side to side. Now taking that sequence on the other side. Inhale, lift and lengthen the left leg, toes to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your left knee, bring it under your body. Step your left foot to your left thumb. Now, lower the right knee down onto the mat, uncurl the toes. Invite the blocks underneath the hands if you're working with that option. And as you press the hips forward, make sure that the left knee is tracking above the left ankle. Press the hips forward, gaze forward. Option to keep your hands on the blocks. Or you can take your palms to your thigh. As you press the hips forward, maybe you feel the sensation of going a little deeper. Maybe you reach your fingers up towards the ceiling. Or maybe you take your hands behind your back, interlacing your fingers. Now with the opposite grip, press palms together, taking a little back bend, gazing up to the ceiling. Heart opener, shoulder opener. Release the hands. Bring the hands to the blocks. Now, shift the hips back. Remember, just enough to get the hip above the back knee. Straighten the front foot. Walk the blocks towards you if you need to. Now, as the left leg is straight and in front, make sure the toes are lifted. Gaze forward, take an inhale breath. As you exhale, lower down, bend your elbows, lower your torso towards your front leg. Remember, you might take the option to move the blocks out to the side if your palms or fingertips connect down to the mat. Now, the more you fold, the deeper you're going to feel that stretch. Breathe into it. Let that left hamstring open up. On your next inhale, lift your head, bend your knee, shift forward. Back to our knee down lunge. Lift your hands off the mat. Take your left thumb to your left hip crease. Find external rotation here. Inhale, reach the right fingers up to the sky. Exhale, reach the right arm over to the left. Now, as you continue to reach, feel a stretch in the right side body. Reach, reach, reach. On your next inhale, lift the fingers up to center. Exhale, take the right hand down to the mat in line with the left foot. Curl the right toes, come off the right knee. Inhale, reach the left fingers up, twist to the left. Press that right heel back. On your next exhale, take the left hand down to the mat outside of the left foot. Firmly pressing palms to the mat, lift that left foot, step it back, come into your downward facing dog. Find your alignment. Send the hips way up high and back. Send the chest towards the thighs. Now we're going to go into a modified vinyasa. From here, we'll inhale, shift forward to plank position. Exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin. Now as you inhale, come onto your belly and your thighs. Lift the chest, gaze forward. And exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet towards your hands. You might notice the legs feeling a little more open now. Inhale, find that half lift. Reach the crown of the head forward. Reach the tailbone back. And then exhale, move back into forward fold. Now, this time in forward fold, you might be able to straighten the legs more. You may feel the sensation in the back. So really stretching the back of the body. Hands can find opposite elbows. You may even take a micro bend in the knees and twist from side to side. As you twist from side to side, notice how this feels for your legs and your hips. Just give yourself time to open up and feel into your body. And the next time your arms or your hands come to the outside of the left foot, release the hands if you've grabbed your elbows. Bring your palms, fingertips down to the mat or to a block. Take a deep bend in the left knee. Keep the right leg straight. Feel into that right hip. Now bend the right knee. Bring both hands in front of the feet. With both knees bent, walk the hands to the outside of the right foot. Keep the right knee bent. Press into the left foot. Straighten the left leg. Feel a nice stretch in the left leg and the left hip. Deep bend in that right knee. Bend both knees. Bring the hands in front of the feet. With both knees bent, take your time to slowly roll up, pressing feet to the ground. As the feet root down, slowly start to rise up. Let your head come up last. And as you find yourself in a standing position, bring your arms by your sides. Palms are facing forward. Take a micro bend in the knees. Pull the belly button towards the spine. Come into mountain pose. Now from our mountain pose, wherever you are on your mat, step the feet to the top of the mat. You want to give yourself some space because we're going to come into some sun salutations. So to prepare ourselves for sun salutations, look at your feet. Bring your feet to hip distance. Looking down to your feet, make sure there's about 6 inches between the feet. Now moving with our breath, inhale, let the arms rise up, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, dive forward, come back into forward fold. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, bend the knees to plant the hands. Step the right foot back. Step the left foot back. Now you're in plank position. You can lower down knees, chest, chin, or you can move through vinyasa by high plank, lowering down to low plank, then flipping onto the tops of the feet for upward facing dog, and then moving to downward facing dog. So that's our vinyasa. Let's take 3 rounds of breath in down dog or child's pose, your choice. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Repeat that breath. Now step your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise up, gathering energy, palms connect. Exhale, thumbs come down the midline. Separate the arms, open them by your sides. Take a round of breath. So that was 1 full round of sun salutation A. We're going to explore 2 more. Moving with our breath to prepare, bring the arms out to the sides. On your next inhale breath, reach the arms up. Exhale, dive forward, come into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or jump to plank position. So this is really going to depend on your practice. And then lower knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog for 3 rounds of breath. Step the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Palms connect. Exhale, bring the thumbs down the midline. Now pause here. Once you connect your thumbs to your heart center, take a micro bend in the knees. Pull the belly button towards the spine. Close your eyes and simply notice your breath. Notice now at the completion of the second round, if your energy is starting to increase with the movement in your practice. Just take inventory of how you feel now. And on your next exhale breath, Open your arms by your sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up. This is our last round of sun salutation A. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump to plank. Lower down, move through your vinyasa. 3 rounds of breath in down dog. Now, lion's breath is really beneficial here. Inhaling through the nostrils and exhale, releasing with the mouth open. One more round of breath. If you're practicing the jump forward, you can bend the knees, softening, and then jump the feet to the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, palms connect. Exhale, thumbs to the heart center. Pause here. Simply connect with your breath. Now separate the hands. Take a sip of water if you need. We're going to move into 3 rounds of sun salutation B. Bringing the big toes together when you're ready. Feet are at the top of the mat. Just create a little space between the heels. So sun salutation B is very similar to A. It has all of the steps as A, but we've got a few extra steps. So let's take the first one slow. As you inhale, sit back, reach the arms forward, come into chair pose. In your chair pose, make sure that your knees aren't moving past your toes. Squeeze your thighs together. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find a half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or jump to your plank position. Move through your vinyasa. Now, when you come into down dog, we're going to continue to move. Inhale, lift and lengthen that right leg. Exhale, bend the knees, step it through. Now, use your energy and your balance to lift your arms off the mat, engaging that right hip. Reach your fingers up, gaze forward. As you exhale, take your hands down to the mat. Step the right foot back. Move through your vinyasa. Find downward facing dog. Inhale, lift and lengthen the left leg. Exhale, step it through. Find your balance. Lift your arms. Gaze forward. Exhale, brings the hands down. Step the left foot back from your plank position. Lower down. Rise up, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Now we've got 3 rounds of breath in our down dog. If you need a rest, you can always come into child's pose. If you're in child's pose, go ahead and shift back to down dog. From your down dog, bring your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, standing position. Thumbs to heart center. Soften the knees, take a micro bend. Pull the belly button to the spine. Notice your breath. You might feel like you've just done some cardio. You might feel the heart rate increase. We're building on our practice. So now that we've explored one round of Sun Salutation B, after our 3 rounds of Sun Salutation A, we've got 4 Sun Salutations together in this practice. Now our legs are a little more ready to come into our standing sequence. In our standing sequence, we'll come into one side at a time. To get there, let's lower the arms by our sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the feet back to your plank pose, and from plank, lift your hips, find your down dog. Now, once you get positioned into your down dog, inhale, lift and lengthen the right leg. Exhale, bend your knees, step it through. Step the right foot to the right thumb, just like we did in Sun Salutation B. Now that we know where we're going, the arms lift. Now, as the arms lift, that front knee is tracking above the front ankle. This is our crescent lunge. Back heel is lifted. On your next exhale, rotate your back foot to 90 degrees. Open your arms for Warrior Two. Now let's pause here. In your Warrior Two, front knee is tracking above the ankle. Back leg is straight, pressing to the pinky edge. Make sure you're not reaching forward or back. Stay with your torso centered. Reach your fingers in opposite directions and gaze to the middle finger that you have above your bent knee. Warrior Two, strong standing position. Press into that front foot, straighten the front leg. Reach the front fingers forward. Rotate the arms. Bring the back of the hand to the inner thigh. Reach the opposite fingers up. Now rotate the chest. See if you can gaze up. Feel a nice stretch at the inner thigh. If it hurts your neck to look up, you can rotate your face to look down. On your next inhale, bring the arms back to Warrior Two. Bend the front knee. Lower the back hand. Reach the front fingers up and then overhead. Nice stretch in the side body. Keep that front knee bent. You might even explore taking your arm behind your back. Now transition back to your Warrior Two. Press into that front foot. Rotate the toes so that all 10 toes are in the same direction. Now we're coming into a wide-legged stance. Look down to your feet. Make sure your feet are in line with each other. So you don't want one foot forward or back. Bring them in the same lane. Now, once you have your feet in the same lane, take your hands to your hips. Inhale, open your chest, bring your elbows and your shoulders back. Exhale, dive forward. Take your hands from your hips down to the mat. Now we're in a wide-legged forward fold. You decide if you want to take the feet further apart or closer together. Lower the top of your head down to the mat. Press to the pinky edges of both feet. Take a micro bend in the knees if that feels better for your legs. You might even bring your hands to your ankles, pulling your head towards the legs. Find your balance here. Keep breathing. Now, if your hands are on your ankles, bring them back to the center of the mat. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, pause here. Take the hands from the mat to the hips. Inhale, lift the crown of the head up, back to standing position. Now rotate that front foot, toes to the top of the mat, bend the knee. Back in our warrior two. From our warrior two, we're gonna move into extended side angle. Bend the front arm. Bring the forearm to the thigh. Don't rest it or press it on the knee. Bring it to the thigh. Palm is facing up. Reach the top fingers up, and then overhead, we're in our extended side angle. Long line of energy. Top palm is facing down to the earth. Bottom palm is facing up to the sky. Reach, reach, reach. Back to warrior two. Now, bring the left arm in line with the right. Pop onto those left toes. Come back into your crescent lunge. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Step that right foot back. As you come into your down dog, prepare for a vinyasa. Inhale, shift forward to high plank. Exhale, bend the elbows, hug them in, come into low plank. Now come onto the tops of the feet. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a few rounds of breath here or in child's pose. On your next inhale, lift and lengthen that left leg. Toes to the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, step it through. Find stability, and then lift your arms. Crescent lunge. Now the left knee is bent. The right heel is lifted. From here, we're going to transition to our warrior two. So that back foot is going to rotate to 90. Arms are going to open up. Now your gaze is to that front middle finger. Press to the pinky edge of the back foot. Press into the front foot, straighten that front leg. Setting up for triangle, reach the front fingers forward. Rotate the arms. Bring the back of the hand to the inner thigh. Reach the top fingers up and then swivel the chest. See if you can gaze up. Remember, if this hurts your neck, you can turn your face to look down. Reach the top fingers up towards the sky. And then inhale, come back to warrior two. Now lower that back hand. Reach the top fingers. Option to stay here, or you can reach overhead. Bottom arm can come behind the back. Keep the front knee bent. Back to warrior two. Press to the front foot, straighten the front leg. Now rotate all 10 toes in the same direction. So now you're facing the opposite direction. Open the feet as wide as you need to. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, open your heart. Take the shoulders and the elbows back. Exhale, fold forward. Take your hands down to the mat. Now this time in our wide-legged forward fold, we're going to take a different option. We're going to take a twist. Bring the left hand under the face. Extend that left arm. Get a half lift. Inhale, reach the right fingers up. Twist to the right. Imagine that you're trying to tap the ceiling with those right fingertips. On your next exhale, take the right hand down to the center where the left hand is. Straighten that right arm, press palm to the mat. Inhale, lift the left fingers up, twist to the left. On your next exhale, let the left hand come down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Wide-legged forward fold with a twist on this side. On your next inhale, find a half lift. Pause and take an exhale here. Bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, lift the crown of the head up towards the sky. Exhale, rotate the left toes to the front of the mat. Bend the knee, come back into your warrior two. Now bend that front elbow, bring the forearm down to the thigh. Inhale, lift the right fingers up, and then overhead, extended side angle. Bottom palm is facing up to the sky. Top palm is facing down to the earth. Reach, 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 long line of energy. Our next inhale breath is going to bring us back to warrior two. Now the back arm comes forward to meet the front arm. Rotate onto the back toes. Lift the arms up for your crescent lunge. Exhale, take the hands down. Step the left foot back. Come into your down dog. Set yourself up here. Know that we're going to come into another vinyasa. Inhale, shift forward, plank position. This is high plank. Bend the elbows, lower down for low plank. Then come onto the tops of the feet. Extend the arms, upward facing dog. Exhale, it's down dog. 3 rounds of breath. Remember, you've always got child's pose as an option. Now from here, we're going to come into a deep hip opener, pigeon pose. Shift forward to plank position. Now bring your right knee to your right wrist, your right foot to the left side of the mat. Lower the left knee down. Uncurl the back toes, extend the leg. Look past your left shoulder. Make sure you can see your left leg in a straight line, including your foot. Now, as you do this, you might feel a really deep stretch at your right hip. Look to your right shin. If your hip is tight, it will feel more comfortable for you to have your right heel closer to your left hip. If your hip is more open, then you can bring your shin parallel to the top of the mat. Maybe your foot is somewhere in the middle. So just notice where you're feeling the sensation. Now you can stay with arms straight if you'd like, or you can lower the arms down. Now if you're lowering down, I suggest that you take the elbows out wide, stack the hands, lower your forehead down, making your hands making a pillow for your forehead. If you've got a lot of space underneath that right hip, you can position a block or a blanket to give yourself some support. So come back to your props if you need to. Notice that the wider you open your elbows, the more you're able to sink your chest down. One more round of breath. Coming out, inhale, lift your head. Press palms to the mat. Now, once the arms are straight and the palms are grounded, curl the back toes, lift the hips, step that right foot back. Now, as you step the right foot back, straighten the right leg, take a deep bend in the left knee. Pause and breathe here. Straighten both legs, back to down dog. Now shift forward, bring the left knee behind the left wrist. Left foot to the right side of the mat. Lower the right knee, uncurl the toes. Look past your right shoulder. Make sure the right leg and the right foot are straight and in line behind you. Now shift your gaze forward. Arms are straight. You might feel enough of a stretch at the left hip. You might already know if you want to place a block or a blanket underneath, especially if the hips are sagging to one side or another. We want to keep the hips squared. Now, if you want to lower down, walk the hands forward, send the elbows out, stack the hands, and make a pillow for your forehead. Now, in this time, really try and let your chest soften and melt down towards the mat. With each exhale, surrender to the pose. Let that left hip stretch and release any tension or congestion. Notice the sensation that you feel in this shape, in this stretch. Preparing to come out. On an inhale breath, lift your head. Press palms to the mat. Once the arms are straight, curl the back toes. Lift the hips. Step that left foot back. Straighten the left leg. Bend the right knee. Pause and breathe here. Now straighten both legs. Shift the hips forward. Bend the knees, open the knees wide. Lower them to the edges of the mat. Bring the big toes together. Send the hips towards the heels. Lower the forehead down. Child's pose. Bring awareness to your breath. Bring awareness to the intention that you chose for your practice today. As you deepen the breath and remind yourself of that intention, check in and see if you've been honoring it throughout your practice. If not, it's okay. Bring it in now. Preparing to move with intention. Inhale, lift the hips. Send them forward. Lower the front of the hips down to the mat. Arms are straight. Open the heart. Gaze forward. And then exhale, lift the hips. Bring them back. Bring the knees a little closer together. And then widen the feet enough to where you can come onto your seat in hero pose. Now, at this point of our practice, we are finished with our standing portion. We're going to move now into some seated postures. So coming onto the seat, just take your feet to one side. And as you come onto your seat, extend your legs forward. You might pull the flesh back from each side, and then bring your feet together, your legs together. So when you look at your feet, they're together. Now bring your hands outside of your hips, bringing ourselves into a staff pose. As we inhale and reach our arms up, we find this L shape. And as we exhale, we fold forward. Now as we fold forward, we're hinging at the hips. The hands can come down to the shins or the mat. We really want to keep the legs connected, so don't let the knees pop up. Your hands might reach your feet. Inhale, lift the crown of the head up. Exhale, fold. Nice stretch for the back of the body. Now, if you notice that you're reaching for your feet and you really want to make that connection, but you're struggling to make it happen, you can take a strap, hook it around the arches of the feet and the ends of the strap into your hands. So that's just another option if you're working with gaining some length in your stretch. Let the prop support you. Continue to fold with each exhale breath. Take 3 more rounds of breath. Finding your fullest expression on your next exhale. Inhale, rise up. Back to our staff pose. Bring your hands behind the hips now. Lean onto the hands. As you lean onto the hands and the arms are straight, press your heels down into the mat. Dig the heels down. Lift your hips. Coming into a reverse plank. Keep lifting the hips. Feel the strengthening happening in the arms. Point the toes forward. Keep the hips lifted. You can do it. 1 more round of breath. Exhale, slowly lower the hips down. Connecting your seat, walk your hands forward. Now bend the knees, bring the heels towards the glutes. Open the knees wide, bring the soles of the feet together, just like we did when we started our practice. At the start of our practice, we were laying down in a reclined supine position. Now from a seated position, bound angle, also known as Baddha Konasana. Nice stretch for the inner thighs. You can take your thumbs to the arches of your feet, or you can wrap your fingers around your toes. Whatever you choose, inhale, lift the crown of your head up. Exhale, fold forward. Now, as you fold forward, if you're feeling discomfort in your knees, then you can send your heels further in front. If you feel that you can go for a deeper stretch, you can bring your feet closer towards your body. So decide where you want to position your feet to get the intensity of the stretch that your body is ready for. Now we just want to feel a stretch. We want to feel sensation, but we don't want to feel pain. So know your edge. If you're holding your head up, let it go. Lower your head down towards the mat. Think about bringing your belly button towards your feet. Now that we've been here for several rounds of breath, see if you can go a little deeper. It's almost time to come out. As you inhale, lift your head. Continue to lift the crown of the head up. Take an exhale breath. And once you find that straight spine, explore a full round of breath here. Take your hands to the outside of the thighs. Guide the knees up. Bring the soles of the feet down to the mat. From here, we're going to try our boat pose. Bring the feet together. Come on to the big toes. Now reach your arms forward. Thumbs are up as if you're giving a thumbs up. You'll lean back a little bit. Now from here, try and see how it feels to lift your ankles in line with your knees. Open your heart. Imagine there's a string attached to your heart that someone is pulling up to the ceiling. Don't let collapse happen. Open the heart. Shine it forward. Look forward. Hold here. Feel your core engaging, activating, getting stronger. Take one more round of breath. Exhale, lower the feet down. Shift forward. Now we're going to come into a seated balance. So bring your arms inside of your legs. Take one hand, peace fingers to hook onto the same side big toe. Then do that on the other side. Peace fingers are hooked to big toes. Now, just lift the heels off the mat. As you lift the heels off the mat, you'll feel your body shift forward back just a little bit for a little counterbalance. Then lift your feet. Bring the ankles back in line with the knees. And now maybe extend one leg. See if you can straighten it. If not, it's no problem. You can keep the knees bent. Maybe you straighten the opposite leg. Maybe you straighten both legs. Now, however you have your legs positioned, open your heart. Gaze is forward. This is a seated balance. Bend your knees. Guide your feet down to the mat. Position the soles of the feet to the mat. Release the hands. Bring the hands behind you. Scoot your glutes to the center of your mat. Now, we're going to come full circle. We're going to come back into a reclined position just like we started our class today. You will need a block if you want to be seated, and you'll also need a strap. So place one block to one side of you, and then your strap, if you have it, to the other side of you. Now bring your glutes to the middle of the mat so that you can come onto your back. Back to our supine position. Bring your heels in line with your glutes. So we'll start off in bridge pose. This is where we're going to use the support of the block if we want, if we need. I'll show you a couple different options. Arms are going to be grounded by your sides, anchoring down. As you inhale, lift your hips up. Now, if you want the supported bridge, you'll take the block at the mid-height underneath the sacrum. Make sure the block is not on the low back. Find your waistband. Now, where you feel the bottom of the waistband, you're going to position the block under that. So think block is going more towards the glutes. So this is our supported bridge. Now, you're getting a nice opening at the front of the hips. If you really have been sitting a lot and you need a deeper stretch for the psoas muscle, then you can take the option of extending your legs. Nice, deep stretch. If you try this option and you feel pinching at your low back, then you can bend one knee at a time. Now, alternatively, if you want to try bridge without the support of the block, then the heels are going to be in line with the glutes. The block is going to come out. The hips stay lifted. Now, the hands come underneath the body, so you'll scoot the shoulders under as well. The fingers interlace, the fists press down to the mat, the hips lift up. So your body's at a diagonal from your shoulders to your knees. Keep the hips lifted. When you're ready to come out, release the hands. Bring the shoulders out and then lower from the top of the spine slowly down to the tailbone. Once the tailbone is connected, find your breath here. Just give yourself a pause. Now we are going to try for wheel pose. In wheel pose, the only thing that's going to be connected to the mat will be the soles of our feet and the palms of our hands. You can watch this one and see if you want to try it yourself. This is going to be a very dynamic posture. So just feel out your body if it's ready for it. If it's not, then you can take bridge pose again. So to set up for wheel, we really want those heels right by the glutes as much as we can. Then we take our hands outside of the ears. Now you're going to flip the palms down to the mat. The fingers are going to face down towards the feet. So think about fingers under the shoulders and look over to each shoulder and make sure that the fingers are under the shoulders and the palms are grounded. Now you're really going to have to use your energy to press your hands to the mat, lift your hips, and then extend your arms. Maybe you come on to the tops of your toes. Maybe you bring the heels down. Just see what feels good. When you're ready to come out, bend the elbows, slowly lower down, come back into your reclined position, bring your arms by your sides. Now, that's a lot of work for the arms and the shoulders. So if you've got some shoulder limitations or your upper body feels really weak, then it might not feel too good on you today. But just know that that's an option for you that's really great to come into when your body's ready for it and anytime that you feel out of balance. That wheel shape helps to balance out the chakras, which are the energy centers in the body. So that posture has a lot of benefits. Take it when you're ready. All right, so now we're going to incorporate the strap into our practice. Remember, if you don't have a strap, you can use a towel, a belt, or a scarf. We'll take one end of the strap to the foot. Start with your right leg. So bring the strap to the arch of your right foot. Now what you're going to do is extend your leg straight and then extend your grounded leg straight down so the heel meets the mat. So the arms can reach up towards the strap. As you reach the arms up and your leg comes towards your body, that's going to deepen the stretch at the hamstring at the back of the thigh. So if at any point this feels too deep of a stretch, you can give the strap some slack. So find that sweet spot, that point of deep stretch. Keeping the hand here, we're now going to take it for external rotation. So the right leg opens out to the right side. Take your left hand to your left hip to keep that left hip down. Gaze is up. Give yourself a couple rounds of breath here to get a really deep stretch for the inner thigh on the right side. External rotation for the right hip. On the next inhale breath, bring your leg straight up. Now bend your knee. You can continue to work with the strap, or you can take your hand to the outside of your foot. So we're in half happy baby. We want the knee out wide. You don't want the knee into your chest. You want it outside of your ribs. Now, the sole of the foot is facing up to the ceiling. If you can't grab your foot, remember you can grab onto your ankle or the back of your knee. So take the option that's really serving you. Now keep your knee bent. Keep this shape of half happy baby. Open the arms out to the sides. Take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, take the right knee over to the left. Feel your spine coming off of the mat. As you bring your right knee over to the left, turn your head to gaze to the right. Your left palm can rest on the outside of your right thigh. Spinal twist. At the start of our practice, we took a moving spinal twist. Now we're holding on for a longer amount of time, detoxifying as we twist the spine. Release the left hand. Inhale, lift that right knee up, roll your back onto the mat. Exhale, bring that right foot down. Right knee is bent. Reach for your strap. Lift the left foot up. Bend the left knee to bring the foot close enough to where you can hook your strap. And then press your left foot straight up. Your hands are on the strap. Now lengthen that right leg. Bring your heel to the mat. Walk your hands up the strap. And then pull the strap towards you. You can now pull with just your right hand, releasing your left hand, releasing the right hand down. So left hand connected to the strap for the left leg. Finding your edge, deciding if you need to pull the leg closer to the body to deepen the stretch. And remembering if that's too deep, you can move the foot away from the body. Now coming into external rotation, just open that left arm, left leg out to the left. Take the right palm to the right hip to keep it grounded down as you open that left leg. Hold here for a couple rounds of breath. Inhale, let the leg rise up. Exhale, bend the knee. Half happy baby, bring the knee out wide, outside of the body. Option to keep working with the strap, or maybe your hand connects to the outside of the left foot. Maybe to the ankle or the back of the knee. Nice hip opener on the left side. Keep pulling that left leg down towards the mat. Now keep the shape of the legs. Release the left hand, open the arms out, wrists in line with the shoulders. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, bring that left knee over to the right. Turn your head to look to the left. Bring your right palm to the outside of the left thigh. Spinal twist. Shoulders are grounded. Breathe. Let the body detoxify. Let the spine get some range of motion. Moving in this direction. With each exhale, soften into this shape. Practice surrendering to the pose with each exhale. Release that right hand from the left thigh. Inhale, lift the left knee, roll onto the back. Bring that left foot down. Slide the foot down so that it's straight onto the mat. Bring the left heel to the left edge of the mat. Bring the right heel to the right edge of the mat. Bring the arms out to the sides, positioning your body into a star shape. Tuck your chin to your chest, lengthening the back of the neck. Close your eyes. Notice how it feels to let your entire body be heavy. Letting your entire body sink down into the mat. The eyes are closed, the gaze is inward. Now's the time to let your body be in stillness. You've made your way to your resting pose of Shavasana. Know that this time is so important to integrate the work that you've done. For the length of today's practice, I suggest 12 minutes of Shavasana. This time of our practice is so important. We practice presence with ourselves. We can allow ourselves to come into the space of meditation. We give ourselves permission to slow down and serve ourselves. Giving this gift of stillness to our body after all of the movement that is provided for us in this practice. Now, if you feel that you need to reposition yourself, You're always welcome to do that. You can bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together, coming back into the Baddha Konasana shape that we started at the beginning of our practice with the blocks under the thighs. Or we could always take the blocks underneath the knees to support the low back if we've been feeling some tightness there. Just let yourself find any shape that feels comfortable. Know that it's really important to find comfort in this time. And once you found that shape that's comfortable for your body in this time, in this practice, bring all of your attention to how you're breathing. Practice deepening and expanding the breath. Practice filling the lungs completely with each inhale breath. Practice slowly releasing the air with each exhale. Just relax. Know that as you lengthen the breath, you're calming your own nervous system. Reducing stress and anxiety, and inviting in feelings of peacefulness. Know that there's nowhere that's more important to be right now in this moment than in your own body, expressing gratitude for your practice. We're already halfway through our Shavasana. At this point, you'll hear the sound of my voice leave as we close our practice. Allow yourself 6 more blissful minutes of relaxation. And without worrying about timing yourself, let yourself relax and maybe even go into a nap or meditation. If there's somewhere that you need to be, maybe you set a timer for the last 6 minutes. Just continuing to relax. It's my deepest honor to serve you by guiding you through this practice. Thank you for joining me for today's class. I'll see you next time. Namaste.